Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for today's Art for Art's Sake. We are live with Sal Sarmiento. It'll be a fun musical event for today. Sal is a close friend of mine, and he grew up with my husband, so I'm really glad to see him. And he writes his own songs, and he's really an incredible musician. So really glad that he volunteered his time to show us some what he's working on and go live from his music room here. This program, Art for Art's Sake, is a new program from the St. Lawrence County Arts Council. We're showcasing local artists at 4 o'clock on weekdays, and the possibilities are endless. It's really been a great time to connect with new people and reconnect with old friends too, to be able to hear what they're working on, see what they're doing, and feel a little inspired by all the amazing talent that we have in our North Country community here. This program is really the main program that SLC Arts is running in this time of the coronavirus, and we're working on some new things, but we'd really appreciate your support. Today is actually Giving Tuesday now. It's a new giving program through the Giving Tuesday campaign. If you're at all inclined, please do go to slcartscouncil.org/give to donate today. We would really appreciate your support so that we can continue our programming just like this and the other cool things that we've got coming up the pipe here. We are always looking for sponsors for this program. So if you're at all interested in sponsoring one of our upcoming programs, reach out to me directly. You can email me at director@slcartscouncil.org, or you can message us here on Facebook and I'll answer any of your questions. Also, if you're an artist and you'd like to be on one of these shows, you can also reach out to me. I'm booking out a couple weeks. So you have some time to think about what you might want to share, and we can find a time that works. It'll always be at 4 o'clock on a weekday, so that's kind of nice. But any disciplines, as long as we can show something through our Zoom call here, we would love to have you. Anyway, so without further ado, I'm going to bring Sal on here and let him start that music. Hey, Sal.
Hi there. How we doing, everybody? All right. Thanks for having me, Maggie. I'm looking forward to entertaining folks with some songs here and talking about what inspires me to be a guitarist, singer-songwriter, as I have become. So it's been years in the making, and I like to say I came out strumming on the umbilical cord, and so, big inspirations are like my parents. My dad's a great guitarist himself. And, I've got a lot of people close to me and the community. Maggie and her husband are two people I've seen perform countless times. And I can remember when Matt bought his first guitar and brought it out to play hockey. And we were playing in the hotel and stuff, and John Norris, another local guitarist who I've seen play countless times, who's a great inspiration. So anybody who you can think of, I've probably done my best to check out their shows there locally, but also like abroad. Or just like within the realm of history, I kind of made a list here of musicians that I wanted to talk to the guys in the band that I'm playing with. This band we put together called Lifted, playing with Billy Bowen on bass and Larry Goodspeed on drums. And so I put together this list to send them to kind of just keep in mind, trying to keep inspiring each other to understand where we're all coming from. And so I'm going to just read what I wrote to them. I said, I've gone through pretty much every entire collection of studio work from Jerry Garcia, The Grateful Dead, Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, and others. But those come to mind first and stick out the most. I used to keep up with the work by the Wood brothers, Medeski, Martin and Wood, James Brown, Odetta, Chris Thiele, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Keller Williams, Bob Dylan, Red Hot Chili Peppers, you know, a lot of pop, a lot of funk, Les Claypool, Victor Wooten, Bell Fleck, Neil Young, Brother Ali, Calle 13, Pink Floyd, the 30 Dozen Brass Band, Tom Waits, and lots of local, I guess maybe like local to like our time frame, you know, like there's a friend with the band Banshee Tree, Tom LaFond and Michelle Pietrafita. They're amazing musicians that I try and keep up with. Lots of kids I met through college, they're still doing it. And, you know, probably deserve more recognition. But so I'll start off with one of my most recent songs called The Fog, and then we'll work backwards in time. So here we go. What a beautiful night for a stroll, when the moonlight, bright clouds rolling low, and the fog of the swamps and the marshes are settling, with all the darkness and the sin, and as the wind starts blowing, wherever you may go, for me find you. Look out, look out, look out, look out, look out, look out. Imagine yourself in a pretty white coat, on your way to Greece, received there like Marilyn Monroe. And everybody screaming, I love you, as you arrive on the plane. I love you all too. I love you all too. What a beautiful night. Imagine yourself in a white coat, on your way to Greece to see there like Marilyn Monroe. And everybody's screaming, I love you, you arrive on the plane. I love you all too. I love you all too. What a beautiful night for a stroll. The moonlight's bright, clouds rolling low, and the fog of the swamps and the marshes settling, with the darkness and the sin, and as the wind dies low, wherever you may go, fall me find you. yellow, string beans, sunbeams, and birthday balloons. You have this inherent right use of the owl at the moon. Woo-hoo, owl at the woo-hoo, owl at the moon. Woo-hoo. All right. Thank you. That's The Fog, a song I wrote around the time I think y'all were getting married. And so it's got some years to it now, huh?
7, eh?
And man, it's crazy to have songs that are that old, you know, older than my friends' kids, or so they stick with me, and then they become kind of inspirational on their own, you know, and they're like friends I can talk to and come back to and look at in a different way and be inspired in different ways as the years go by. And so here's another little bit of something that I wrote the other day about what inspires me when it comes to songwriting, really. And I'm just gonna again read. I was sending this to a good friend of mine, Alan Reynolds, who's a great poet himself and writer. Friend I've met at college, Alfred. Made a bunch of great friends there, and so yeah, just thinking about writing. You know, he's a good person to kind of like brainstorm and toss ideas around with. So here's something I wrote, kind of thinking about how to express my own writing to somebody else, you know. So this whole process that Maggie's gotten me involved with here with doing this for art's sake has kind of also really inspired me to focus on this kind of train of thought. So here we go. Things I've thought help steer people to good songwriting. Guides, rules meant to be broken, inspiration to write songs that will hopefully become part of a long history of traditions of storytellers, animators, party people, and the like. Often telling a story is good, okay? Reducing the use of first-person narration as much as possible. You know, these are just, again, just kind of opinions, you know, nothing to, again, really stick to, but kind of guides I take when I do my best to write my best and find that I succeed. So another thing is opening up to writing as for and with different pronouns, or using none, or using names and proper nouns instead. Also thinking anything is possible, like getting multiple voices on recordings, and like thinking about what I'm creating when it comes to music. You know, I like to think, you know, this could be anybody. I could have a production. This could be a song that's, you know, got a duet going. It's got a female vocal. It's got a baby's voice, you know, anything. There could be, you know, any option. We could have bass. We could have an orchestra. We could have, you know, some cool weird noise samples, anything. Just kind of like continually opening up. I saw like Trey Anastasia, the guitarist from Fish, like sampling just like nice wine glasses with water the other day for some stuff I saw him creating on Instagram. So yeah, anybody who's been a great guitarist, who stands out, you know, has been a great inspiration of mine, you know, from the hair band guys like Eddie Van Halen, to the hairless guys like Joe Satriani and folk guitarists like Bob Dylan and Odetta. You know, soul guys like Bill Withers, really, you know, stick out. And I did my best to study them. I'm glad we live in a time. And so like another inspiration is just like the music and the material. When I say the material, I don't just mean like, you know, I mean like instruments. Like the material thing is like this guitar has been an inspiration, just like being able to play it, you know, being able to play on an instrument that was built, you know. And if you look at the history of the guitar and how it's related to other instruments, and you just look at the history of music, you know, and that's inspirational on its own. There's a lot of different kinds of musicians. Some people say there's like players, there's philosophers, there's theorists, there's mathematicians. I've met this one guy who's created a great tool. He's like a teacher on some level, but he's really like a mathematician. And I think that my own study with mathematics, you know, was something that helped inspire me to like at least like appreciate like the patterns in music, and drove me to like really understand how those layers of patterns and stuff through scales and other things. So yeah, I had a lot of great teachers from Crane. And I'm going to keep going with my list here for a little bit. Might be worth mentioning that I have a constant struggle to say something special, magical, mystical, or nothing about anything really. You know, there's this like duality there. Like, you know, I don't want to be too specific about my life. I don't want to like kind of like set myself in a time frame where my music is like, you know, obviously from this time. I like the idea, like I said there, like of this history of storytelling, you know, like I like a lot of songs that kind of can stand the test of time, as people might say, you know. So like if I can use words that don't necessarily pigeonhole me into a certain era, I find that that's beneficial in a sense, you know. I find something especially powerful about writing a song that can last ages, and it can even be able to have been an old or even ancient song, you know, like. So that also really kind of hits on my appreciation for like naturalist point of view. I'll just leave that there. And so something about words and subject matter that is and are and will always be public domain, you know. Maybe it's because I would like to be a naturalist in my own right, sort of. Maybe I think the world could use more naturalists. Taking the reins and more responsible people. Okay. And got into some silly stuff here, you know. I kind of can't stray, which is my next point here, that you know, I have a hard time straying from like activist thought, but that's like, you know, kind of counterintuitive to this like naturalist ancient songwriting kind of feeling. So there's another kind of battle as I write that's worth mentioning. And I like trying to say, I think I got a little, oh yeah, you know, too far away from the zen of that naturalist thing. That's all I was saying again there. You know, there's a lot of like beauty of writing some sweet poetic stuff, you know, some gibberish, some elegant truths, some multiple double entendres and folk songs and tales, you know. All right, so get out of there and play some other song of mine. This is a song called Chicken Scratch and Bust Out Electric. So again, thanks y'all for joining us and catching. Arts for art's sake. Here's a song called Chicken. Did I say chicken scratch? I did say that? I want to go back on my word. Chicken scratch to take the pain away. The world will feed my soul today. Emptiness is a lonely tone where I swear some skin can turn this stone. Rock and roll as my preachers, the whole world is my church. And I don't worry about nothing, and I don't hurry for what it is worth. This is a toast to the days built of the past. This is a toast to the days we built to last. Never I'm out the city, go on, forget it, forever tangled love, and all sorts of credit. Hair like my head confused, sometimes invested, so I'm learning to enjoy. To grow all that I know, and spread it out and show. When people get down, we heat up and spin round, I feel abducted by aliens, such music, such sound. Such musicians, such sound. This is a toast to the days built of the past. This is a toast to the days we built to last. All right. Thank you. That's from the era of Nast. We had a band called Nast.
I've heard about Nast.
Yeah.
Before my time.
2007-ish. was a fun time. So yeah, Chris Streetbat was playing bass in that band, Nast, and Chad Sparks played in it for a little bit, and Colin DeHaan, and Mike Fuhr and on drums, and John North on guitar, and we get Lazo on a saxophone or Jake Whitesell there. Those are good times. And yeah, so that song's
Awesome.
about just writing, you know, and how much writing soothes my soul. So that's another part of the inspiration, is just like, you know, how good it makes me feel to write. And there's different ways I write. You know, sometimes I write and it takes 5 seconds and it's like a lightning bolt struck, and all of a sudden the words are on the paper and the song's like never gonna change pretty much from then on. And sometimes it's like a 2 to 3 year process of me cutting and pasting different parts together and realizing that this fits with that and that fits with this. And finally I found a bridge. And so like, you know, patience is really a big inspiration. You know, time is kind of like heals all wounds, but time, you know, finishes a lot of songs too. Sometimes it just takes years to do it. And so like, I'm playing songs like I said, that song's from 2007. I'm still playing songs from 2000 that I wrote. And that's like 20 years old. And you know,
I mean, last week feels like forever ago, so.
What's going on here for sure. So that's a good 30 minutes. I don't know how you want to play this.
You want to play one more song for us, Sal?
Sure, yeah, I could play one more. Thanks.
That'd be awesome.
Thanks for having me. And
thank you for doing this. It's been so great to hear all this.
Thank you so much. And you know, I hope, you know, this inspires somebody to keep writing or doing whatever keeps you happy and keeps you passionate and, you know, keeps you creative. I think that's really important in someone's, you know, balance and life. And so here's one more song, and this one's called The Jackhammer. So, you know, my roots are in like blues in a lot of ways. So this one here. And y'all stay safe out there, and you know, just you know, keep each other in mind and take care of each other. All right. Thank you again for having me. I've been working on the red. Oh shoot, hold up. We've been working on the railroad. We've been piling steel all day. But they call him the jackhammer. Oh, because they ain't been around these parts since his granddaddy John Henry. Swing that way, baby. He got 2 16-pound hammers, one up on each arm. They say he can swing them so hard, the sound still echoes off the stars. So he's told me on a clear quiet night, when the planets are aligned, If you hear a strange ringing, it can only be one thing. That's right. The jackhand blues. Yeah. He's a hell-of-getting dancer, though he is only one as. Now the rest of us is free. The do-do, else apple we please. Well, Jack was on the word, faster than a flash. So you can blame. This man ain't nothing but a man. But a man has to do his best, I do believe. Woo! All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Very cool. Man, that was so much fun.
Thank
So
you.
listen, where can people find out more about you or listen to more of your music? Do you have stuff online?
Yeah, I've got some stuff on a lot of the music platforms out there. As far as I know, I've got my solo EP out there on everything from like Spotify to Amazon, and I have a website on Wix. If you just look that up,
Sweet.
Sal Sarmiento Wix site, and
We'll share that link so people can go check you out a little more. But this has been so great. Like, I feel like I learned more about you, and I hope that the rest of the community was glad to hear that too. So really, thank you so much for sharing your music and your inspirations. It's been really fun.
it's been fun opening up. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, this has been Art for Art's Sake. This is episode 25 with my friend Sal Sarmiento. Thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you'll join us tomorrow. Have a good day.